When this palette showed up, it was like, ooh, is it Christmas in August? So thank you, It'sBel, for sending over the cool summer palette. So let's go ahead and dig in. I have 3 looks for you, of course. Hey guys, this is Ashley. Welcome on back to my channel. So as you just saw, I have 3 looks using the It'sBel Cool Summer Palette. But before I get carried away, let me go ahead and introduce myself. If you are new to this channel, welcome. And if you're oldie but goodie, welcome on back. My name is Ashley. I have a doctorate in pharmacy and I love makeup. So that's how you get Dr. Ash and her makeup. But please just call me Ash or Ashley. And eyeshadow is my jam. Like, it's my favorite thing. By far. Okay, so when I mean like Christmas in August, I didn't actually buy this palette and I did not know the palette was on the way, and literally I got a route message that my palette had been delivered and I was like, huh? What you mean? Not to mention, let me get the palette the right way, okay? Not to mention I've been having trouble at my mail in my building where I live. I don't know if UPS or USPS actually took the key. The key went missing, okay? So we had to give the postmaster a new key so the mailman can get in, so we didn't have mail for a little while, and then all of a sudden I got this little beauty. So, you know, I am an affiliate with It'sBel Cosmetics, but you know I'm always going to keep it real with you, and I have a code, and the code is Dr. Ash. So they sent over this gorgeous palette, and this is their first time actually doing mattes in their palette. Now, I did have 2 shades. Unfortunately, they came broken. It was Waves and Blueberry Pop, but, you know, I just kind of pressed them back in. I did a horrible job at pressing this in right now, so, you know, I'm going to be gentle with the palette, but you already know. Sometimes these shades, especially the See You from the Stars shimmers, they get a little volatile, okay? So It'sBel Cosmetics, they came in the game with the all shimmer palettes, okay? Usually you got 12 shades and they were all shimmers, glorious shades, and one of their most standout palettes is the Break the Rules palette. And the thing about it is they've been pretty affordable also. They've been like in the $27 mark. Good way to add some really great fun pops of shimmers to your collection without, you know, breaking the bank. Well, y'all, I literally been sitting here talking to myself. I thought I was filming. I was watching a couple things for you. Nope. Wasn't recording. So I got up to get the power cord to my monitor because it was about to die, and now my camera battery is blinking. It's an adventure. I try to tell y'all, every time I film, it's an adventure. But It'sBel Cosmetics also sent over some of their single shadows. So I have 2 of them to show you. So I have the shade Capella, which is a beautiful multi-chrome, which I was just watching apparently, and you know, the camera wasn't on. And then I also have the shade Purple Stellar, which is a gorgeous shade as well. Now, because I told you I just watched it, Capella, it feels a little bit smoother, and I'm going to go ahead, look at the shine. It is definitely one of those high shine multi-chromes, and I believe these retail for around $8.99. And look at that shade. Oh, look how gorgeous that is. This is going to be like a great one and done shade for me, but like maybe a little brown shadow in the crease. If I really want to murky it up, I could do some green mattes, but gorgeous. And then the shade Capella. Now Capella feels a little bit more grittier, but it's still smooth, and it kind of definitely warms up when you put it on your finger. But this one is a little bit more textured for sure. Really gorgeous. Really, really gorgeous shades. And you know, I'm like all about the Barney vibes. I'm like, this is a beautiful look. So pretty. So those 2 shades they did send over with the palette. So just a little background information about It'sBel Cosmetics. They are a small female-owned indie brand, and Nelly, the owner, she actually just relocated from Puerto Rico to Wisconsin. And I'm like, I know she partly did that to probably grow her brand, which is like, of course, like a great business decision. But then I'm like, whew, Wisconsin. Okay, you coming from Puerto Rico, and y'all know I live in Chicago, and that's the Midwest, and Wisconsin is just our neighbor to the north by a few hours, okay? And I'm just like, girl, it's cold. I mean, it's hot right now because it's the summer, but I'm like, have you been exposed to cold weather before? Because I'm like, oh, let me know how you make it when those winters start rolling through, because it's cold in Chicago, but Wisconsin, it's on a whole nother level. So let's go ahead and jump into this palette. We have a 16 pan palette, and as I just mentioned before, this is the first time that It'sBel has put in mattes with the palette. We got dual chrome finishes, we got satin shimmers, we got some topper shades, and it is bright color. It's bright, but they also designed it so it can represent the cooler tones of summer. And you're definitely getting that. You got the blues, the greens, the aquamarines. You got a beautiful rose gold right there. So this was really exciting to try, and I just feel like it's a really beautiful palette. Now the palette does retail for $48. That is probably one of the highest products out of their price points. When it comes to the actual eyeshadow palettes, you do have some messages on the back, and it says that beauty welcomes everyone. Are you ready to feel the summer breeze and the taste of margaritas? Love me a little margarita, and I love mezcal. Do you guys like mezcal? I like the smokiness of it. Okay, introducing our summer cool palette, excuse me, curated to represent summer and cool tones. This is also our first palette with matte shades, and we can't wait to see what you create. There are also application tips where it talks about maybe using a glitter glue for a primer in addition to your actual primer to get max pigmentation out of your shimmer shades, and also so they will apply the best. And it also talks about just the matte formula as well. You also have your ingredients here. You have this palette is actually made in the PRC and distributed by It'sBel Cosmetics. And you also have the logo here on the bottom. This palette did actually come with a cover. It says the same thing. If you see this here, always an adventure around here. Me and the Pat McGrath Foundation had it out one morning and kind of went everywhere. So I think it's also important to mention that this palette was actually not a pre-order, because most palettes, especially when they're small indie brands, they can be a pre-order and we do have to wait a while. So this palette was able to be purchased and shipped out immediately. There are also a couple of errors with the manufacturer, and they'll be corrected if you were to pick up the palette for the next restock, and it is the shade Blue Carousel and Bikini. So actually they got swapped out, so Blue Carousel should be here and Bikini should be here. And I did know that, but then as I thought about it, I was like, yeah, makes total sense, okay? In addition, the palette is also vegan and cruelty-free. So I mentioned I got some looks for you. You know the drill. We're definitely going to go in. I'm going to create some looks. I'm going to go ahead and talk about how I thought the looks came out in between, give you my thoughts about the performance of the shadow. Definitely going to create another look and wrap up at the end with some final thoughts. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so if you've been here before, you know ain't nothing changed. Still have my eyebrows filled in using the Benefit Cosmetic Goof Proof Pencil in the shade 3.75. Still using my Urban Decay Primer Potion in the shade Caffeine. These two products just never let me down. They are my holy grails, okay? So let's go ahead, let's jump into this beautiful palette. All right, I am back, and here are the first two looks. Really, really, really just beautiful. Let me go ahead and tell you about my face details. Epic fail. Thought my batteries were charged for my camera. No, so the battery died, and I thought my second battery's charged. Nope, so we're flashing red. So we're gonna go through this. So for my base, I decided to go in with my Nars Light Reflecting Foundation. I wear the shade Caracas. And then I took the concealer, the Radiant Creamy Concealer, and this is in Caramel. And for my bronzer, you already know, I went in with my bronzer by Ment Cosmetics. This is the Vacay bronzer. Here she is. Got some nice pan on her. Then I also have the Besame Blush palette by It'sBel. I love this thing. You guys have seen me use it quite often. I just went in right here with Me Gustas because it's just a classic pink color. You can see a little bit better there. Classic pink color that just kind of goes with everything. I did not go in with any highlight this time. And for my lips, I took the liner in BFF3 by Colourpop Cosmetics. Went in with, let's see, we have an OpuLust gloss here, which is called Naked Rose by McGRATH. And I took my Kiss Ritzy lashes, went in with a fresh tube of the Velour Lash and Go. So now they've made it so it's like an eyeliner, it's an eyelash adhesive, and if you want to use magnetic lashes, you can use this. So use that to apply my Kiss Ritzy lashes. Love this product. Makes it so simple if you can't apply lashes very well. For a fun pop of blue, went in with my NYX mascara right here. This is just in the shade Blue. It's called Blue. And I also took, where is she? My Blitz Blue liner by McGRATH for the bottom waterline. Now, these looks are beautiful. But the mattes, okay? And it's actually not all of the mattes because the bright mattes did work out well. You know, I'm going to be holding this palette kind of gently because two of the shades are broken and I did not press them in that well. But the two that I've kind of had a little issue with, the main one especially, is the shade Boozy Lavender. Gorgeous, gorgeous shade, but as you can see, it is fading. It is consistently fading. Now, I know that more neon shades are a little bit harder to, you know, formulate, but it is fading. Same with Seaside. Seaside is actually doing a lot better than the Boozy Lavender, so I'm actually quite pleased with that one. But, you know, as I just been here for like the last 20-30 minutes doing stuff with my face and whatever, you know, it's just faded. It is what it is. Now, the shimmers are pretty much on par from what I remember. I think a couple shimmers are just a little different. I was actually quite surprised with the shade Bikini. This is Bikini right here. I thought it was going to be a little bit more blue purple, but it's definitely pulling aquamarine, and I wanted to see what the aquamarine shade would be like, which is the shade Waves, and it's actually pulling more blue. And I wiped it off my hand, but that does kind of hold true for like, not because I just have it next to this purple eyeshadow, which is Festival Lights. Now, Festival Lights is gorgeous, so I actually like Festival Lights a lot. This is the shade Waves right here. So we have Waves. And as you can see, it's more of a topper shade. It's very soft. So that's the shade right there where you can see it's more of the blue reflex and it's not just the shadow that I have it by. I feel like Festival Lights is one of the best shadows. It's very opaque. And I was trying to remember, like, I feel like the formula is just a tiny bit different even with the shimmers, because I really like the shimmers from It'sBel. But then I also remember, usually I believe I use some type of glitter glue. Now, when you see me hold up this bottle, this is actually Mayron Mixing Medium. And I put it in a spray bottle because if you're familiar with the Mayron Mixing Medium products, it comes in just like a twist off top in a bottle, a mess. Like, how could you even work with it? But overall, the looks really, really pretty. I'm definitely loving this eye for sure. But like I said, the neon mattes, the Boozy Lavender for sure, it's kind of like, ugh, it's just not pulling. It's Flamingo, which is the first one I used. This one, the brighter matte, it's pulling very nicely, and same with the shade right here, Seashells. But overall, I do really like the looks. The mattes, I'm still just trying to figure it out. I feel like it's a little bit powdery in consistency. You do get good pigmentation, but you know, you cannot overblend these shades at all. So let's go ahead, let's jump into one more look. Alright, I am back and here is the final look. Oh, I just think it's gorgeous. Blue, greens, you know, that is really my jam. So I think the look came out gorgeous and it's so shiny, so opulent. The mattes that I used in actually this look performed really well. I'm really happy about how this green looks. Also happy about how the shade Margarita looks as well. I did not have any problem. As you can see, when I put on the shade Palermo, it just patted on really nicely. That is the green shade right here. For the shimmers, I decided to go in with the NYX Glitter Glue, okay? So I remember when I worked with my other palettes from It'sBel that I usually use NYX Glitter Glue. In addition, on the website, they do actually recommend that you use the NYX Glitter Glue because their shadows are so creamy. And usually in my experience, when it comes to multi-chromes or any of these shadows where you like see me from the stars type of shimmers, you really do need glitter glue in order to help those shadows adhere. Sometimes just the mixing medium or the primer doesn't help enough. I also decided to go in with my finger when I went ahead and took Blueberry Pop. So Blueberry Pop is actually more of a it has more of a base pigment to it, probably more of a black pigment to it. As you can see, it's very opaque. And then I also went in with Summer Nights. So Summer Nights is this beautiful shade where it's definitely is giving like that lime green, or sometimes it can kind of just give gold. And I think that it set the look off really nice. Didn't have any problem with the mattes. I think everything was pigmented and laid down really well. For the bottom rim, I still went in with that Pat McGrath Blitz Blue pencil, and this time around I opted to go in with just some regular black mascara on the bottom because I already had a lot of blue going on and the rest of my face details are exactly the same. Now, what do I think about this palette? I think this palette is actually really beautiful, and I think It'sBel actually just really did the thing when it came to just kind of putting the mattes in the color story. When I first saw this palette, actually, I kind of got Glaminatrix Bloom. Is it called Glaminatrix? I don't know why I keep calling it Bloom. It's the Glaminatrix Sandra Rose palette, and I'm going to pull it out for you so you can see. Alright, so I pulled out the Sandra Rose palette, and here she is. And this is by Glaminatrix Cosmetics. I do have a video with 3 or 4 looks with this palette. So initially, I just kind of thought that these palettes kind of looked the same when I swatched it out. And I've been so busy, I didn't even realize that this palette released. And I was like, oh my gosh, she actually sent it to me. So these are so, of course, like the little aqua pops definitely remind me. Some of the corally pops definitely kind of remind me. But they are essentially 2 different palettes. But I did think that this palette actually kind of looked somewhat like it. Apparently, I got a lot of mess going on, okay? Because apparently, you know, that palette is already fragile. Talking about the Cool Summer palette, apparently, I don't know how my finger landed in Posey, as you can see right here. Child, I don't know, you know, filming around here could just be an adventure. I'm just going to tap out a little bit of that shade. We're going to put her back here so we don't mess up anything else now. So my only complaint really would be about this palette would just be the Boozy Lavender shade, which is more of the neon shade, and this actually blue. I wish that this blue is actually better performing than the Boozy Lavender. Yeah, Boozy Lavender. So Seaside does actually work out better. I did have better performance. It was still kind of like one of those shades like, don't overblend because it would just go away. But Boozy Lavender was just definitely fading as time went on. I did go ahead and touch up, as you guys can see on camera, and it just still faded away. And I didn't even have it on for a long period of time. And you know, for me, like, longevity is like everything when it comes to eyeshadows, because I typically put on my eyeshadows and I go and I'm gone all day long, usually 12 hours. Now, the only shade I did not get the chance to use was the shade Pink Lemonade. But it is absolutely gorgeous. Oh my gosh. And it feels really, really great. So that is Pink Lemonade. Let me just get a little swatch of that. I'm actually going to swatch it here so you can see it better. Ooh. That's... Let me get you in focus there. That is stunning. And hopefully the lights are not too bright and you can't actually see what that looks like. But the formulation of that shade actually feels really good. So you do have a mixture of formulas. You have more of your toppers. You got more of your actual, you know, shimmer formula. You do have some of the creamy duochromes in this formula, in this palette. So I do like that when it comes to this palette. And I did find that for summer nights, it was a little hard to pick up at first, but you know, with the glitter glue down, it did just really help. Okay, so I really just need to go ahead and get Waves and Blueberry Pop a little bit more situated so I don't want to have to worry about the palette. I think the colors are really great. So the only other matte that I actually did not use would be this one right here, and that is Pistachio Sundae. So I kind of usually like to test this theory because, you know, I like to see if these colors that are a little bit different, do they actually look different? You know, you could swatch them all day, but then on the eyes. So here they are here. So I would just say that for me, that would probably just be because right here, they're basically looking like the same shade. You know, I know we do with these gradients, but I say it all the time. Like, you know, you put it on your eyes and you're not going to get the same effect. And I really feel like you're not always going to get the same effect, even with deeper skin, because people who are paler, you're going to see the different shifts, the gradients. Deeper, I think it just kind of gets lost in the translation. But overall, I feel like they did a really good job with this palette. For me, I did not pay for the palette, but I would just say that, you know, the price point is $48. I don't think it's terribly bad, but I do wish it could come in the $40 mark. It'sBel has typically been cheaper. You can get their 12-pan all shimmer palettes usually for $27. I've usually liked that they're pretty much affordable because, you know, a lot of times these all shimmer palettes or these duochrome palettes, they do cost more to make. And it could be the case with that. And then now we have inflation on top of that. And inflation is just out of control. So maybe that's why it costs a little bit more. But I would have liked to see this come in at the $40 mark. But I think it's a gorgeous summer palette. And I feel like it's something that, you know, it's just kind of here to stay. And it's not like a summer palette for a season because this is what's in, you know, what's trending right now. So it has some very gorgeous pops. And the quality is really nice on it too. I've never had an issue with It'sBel quality, except for maybe like a lipstick component. So, but I do like it. And, you know, right here, even on the back, it just says with the application tips that you should definitely probably use a glitter glue or primer. And the proof is in the pudding because with the glitter glue or primer, oh man, it's just shadow everywhere. Like it's filming is always an adventure, but glitter glue and a primer, the shadows really pop. So thank you to It'sBel Cosmetics for sending this over. I am really greatly appreciative, and it was a pleasant surprise because I didn't even know it was coming. I just got like a little route notification that my palette had been delivered. I was like, what? what is this? Okay, so let me know if you picked up this palette. How do you like the palette? Have you even tried It'sBel Cosmetics? Let me know down below in the chat box. You know, I like to chat it up with you guys. Give this video a big old thumbs up. Hit the notification bell so you know when I come out with another video, which will be very soon. I'm trying. It's getting better. I had 2 videos last week, or hopefully this video will go up this week. So last week will hold true. Yeah, I'm trying. My time has been but please subscribe to my channel because you know I would love to have you here in my little makeup family. And with all of that being said, you already know what time it is. It's time for the chair dance. Chair dance. Hey, 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 chair dance. Chair dance. Chair dance. Hey, chair dance. Chair. All right, y'all. Bye.